My wedding day was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. White dress. Soft music. A small circle of people who actually cared. And one empty row. Reserved for my parents. I kept looking at it. Even when I told myself not to. Even when I smiled for photos. Even when I laughed with guests. A part of me still waited. Maybe they'd walk in late. Maybe traffic. Maybe something. But deep down, I already knew the truth. They weren't coming. They never planned to. Stop looking, my husband whispered gently, squeezing my hand. I forced a smile. I'm not, I lied. But he knew. Everyone knew. Because when the music started and I walked down the aisle, that empty space felt louder than anything else. No proud father. No emotional mother. Just silence where love was supposed to be. Still, I kept walking. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't choosing them. I was choosing me. The ceremony was beautiful. Simple, real. No fake smiles. No forced love. Just people who actually wanted to be there. And when I said I do, I meant it. Not just to my husband, but to a new life. One where I didn't have to beg for love anymore. After the wedding, I made a decision. I stopped reaching out. No messages. No calls. No updates. If they didn't care enough to show up, they didn't deserve access to my life. Months passed. Peace replaced pain. Slowly, quietly. I built something new. My husband and I worked hard. Late nights, early mornings. We supported each other. Grew together. And for the first time, I felt secure. Not because of money, but because of respect. Then one day, everything changed. It started with a post. Just a simple photo on Facebook. Me, standing next to a brand new Tesla. Black, sleek, $120,000 worth of success. Hard work, no shortcuts. I didn't post it to show off. I posted it to remind myself how far I had come. From being ignored to building something real. I didn't think much of it until my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick it up. Hello? There was a pause. Then a voice I hadn't heard in months. You bought a Tesla? My grip tightened. My mother. Of course. Not for my wedding. Not for my happiness. But for a car. I stayed silent. She continued, her tone suddenly softer. You didn't tell us anything. I let out a small breath. Because in that moment, everything became clear. They didn't miss me. They missed access. And now that they saw something valuable, they were back. But what she didn't know was, this time, the conversation wasn't going to go the way she expected. You bought a Tesla? My mother's voice carried a mix of disbelief and something else. Interest. Not warmth. Not love. Just curiosity, now that I was worth something. I leaned back slightly, holding the phone away for a second before bringing it back to my ear. Yes, I said calmly. A pause. Then suddenly, well, that's impressive, she replied, her tone shifting unnaturally fast. You should have told us. We're your parents. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because of how predictable it was. You didn't come to my wedding, I said quietly. Silence. Real silence this time. I thought maybe you didn't want updates. She cleared her throat. That was different, she said quickly. We were busy, and you rushed into that marriage anyway. No, I cut in, still calm. I invited you months in advance. Another pause. This one heavier. I could feel her losing control of the narrative she was trying to build. We just thought, she started again, softer now. You'd come back. You always do. That sentence hit differently. Because she wasn't wrong. I always did. No matter how they treated me. I used to come back. Apologize. Adjust. Shrink myself just to fit into their version of me. But not anymore. That version of me doesn't exist anymore, I said. She didn't respond immediately. So I continued. You didn't miss me, I added. You missed the version of me that needed you. Her voice tightened. That's not fair. I exhaled slowly. No. What's not fair is saving seats at my wedding for people who never planned to show up. That one landed. I could feel it. Because for a moment, she had nothing to say. Then came the shift. The one I was expecting. Well, we're still your family, she said firmly. We should come visit. See how you're doing. Meet your husband properly. There it was. Access. Not connection. Not apology. Just entry. Into a life they once ignored. I looked across the room. My husband was sitting on the couch, watching me quietly. Calm, supportive. Everything my family never was. And in that moment, the choice became easy. I don't think that's a good idea, I said. Silence. Then her voice sharpened. What do you mean? I mean, I replied steadily, you don't get to ignore my life when it's small, and show up when it looks valuable. Her tone changed instantly. So did the mood. This is how you treat your parents? I didn't raise my voice. Didn't argue. Because I didn't need to anymore. No, I said calmly. This is how I treat people who taught me exactly how to be treated. The line went quiet. But I knew this wasn't over. Because people like them don't let go easily. Especially when they realize they've lost control. And what she said next was something she would regret the moment she realized. I wasn't the same person anymore. This is how you treat your parents? She snapped. I didn't react. No, I said calmly. This is how I treat people who ignored me when I needed them most. Silence. Then she tried one last time, softening her tone. We can fix this, she said. We'll come visit. Start over. I looked around my home. The life I built. The peace I earned. The love that was real. And I realized something. They didn't belong here. Not anymore. You had your chance, I replied quietly. Another pause. Family doesn't disappear when it's inconvenient, and return when it's profitable. Her voice cracked slightly. So that's it? I took a slow breath. Yes. No anger. No shouting. Just truth. I ended the call. Not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. As I set my phone down, my husband smiled softly. You okay? I nodded. Yeah, I said. And for the first time, I actually meant it. Because the people who ignored my wedding would only ever see my life from the outside now. And this time, The door stayed closed.